Compass FM. That's the last song I played on a radio station I used to work at, so I had to go away and get a real job like my big brother Bob. It drove me nuts anyway. Looking at the time, 9 minutes past 9, coming up 10 past 9 on a Wednesday morning. I always have a chat with Murray Black, Mayor of the Hiranui. Kia ora. Good morning, Murray. How are you?
Oh, good morning, Kerry. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Blue sky, sunshine at the moment. I'm feeling pretty stunning, to be honest, sitting in the Compass FM studio. We discussed very briefly off air, when do you get some sleep being the mayor of a pretty large community like that in a big day that was happening yesterday for the Hiranui? How are you, Murray? You getting enough sleep?
Oh, that's really kind of you to ask. Thank you, Kerry. Yeah, I'm doing okay, but yesterday was a big day, but, I just want to touch on one thing first, because this is our future, but I went to the Youth Futures Expo at the Main Power Stadium in Rangiora, where a range of opportunity for our young people stepping into their, a working career and what they can do. And then I didn't race home, but I galloped home to attend a local, I'm a trustee on the Hard and Waikari Vehicle Trust,
mm-hmm.
and then Dave picked me up actually at Waikari, and we went down to attend the meeting with the police in Amberley around the Canterbury district.
And let's have a chat about that. It was at the Tin Shed in Amberley last night. Can you give us a bit of a report on how the meeting went, how it started and how it finished?
Oh, look, it was hosted well by Vicky Foster from Amberley NZ, which is the business association. She had invited speakers within Amberley, some from education, some from, preschool, a pharmacist as a business, a long-term business owner as in Sally Mac, and myself and Stuart Smith was in attendance as our MP, and then the police had an opportunity to respond to the concerns that were being expressed by our community. And I have to say, I'm so proud of the community, because we're standing shoulder to shoulder on this. And the meeting in Culverden last week, there was about 400 or 500 people there. The meeting in Hamner Springs last Thursday night, there was 100 people there. There was probably 300 to 400 people in Amberley last night. But actually, it wasn't just Amberley people. There was Cheviot, and there was Omahi and Waipara and Hard and Waikari and Culverden and Hamner Springs came down to actually give that visible support to the restructure as it's proposed, because the effect across the Hiranui district will be intense. The proposal talks about us losing or shifting from 9 staff across our district to 4. And the proposal talks about having better response time. Now, our district, people that live in our district understand the distance. They understand that this proposal is just not possible in its current state. And, it's the whole district that's going to be impacted, because the 2 officers, one in single charge in Cheviot, single charge in Waikari, their workload has just doubled because they're picking up the slack of the proposal for Culverden and Amberley and the impact. So there was some, I did a bit of research, and there's a chap called Sir Robert Peel, and he is English, and about 100 years ago he talked about it will kind of develop the ethos around policing.
Yep.
And he's got some amazing quotes. And one of his quotes, if I can read it to you, talks about the goal is preventing crime, not catching criminals. If the police stop crime before it happens, we don't have to punish citizens or suppress their rights. An effective police department doesn't have high arrest stats. Its community has low crime rates. And it almost felt as if we were talking about the Hiranui, because the stats tell us that we don't have high numbers.
Yep.
But actually it's because we've got a strong presence of community policing that are boots on the ground, attending school fixtures or sporting events
Yep.
or whatever. And I guarantee they will have conversations to, that young 18-year-old that might be, testing boundaries and
Exactly,
say, hey,
yeah.
buddy, I'm watching you,
Yeah, mate.
and that's enough.
Yep, yep.
It's all preventative stuff. So that's we are continuing to show concern, as we should do, for our rural communities, and particularly across the Hiranui. But I've talked to many, many policemen over the last week or 10 days, and this, I guess the proposal, I understand that more urban issues need to be managed, and totally respect that. But what I don't want to see, Kerry, and the community doesn't want to see, that it's fixing the urban problem, but at the expense of a rural population, So, they're the things that concern me, and I've spoken to our MP, I've spoken to James Meagher, the Minister for the South Island, I've spoken to Mark Patterson, the New Zealand First, and he is responsible for rural communities, because actually, to coin a police phase, this is not okay.
No, absolutely.
And,
do you think that they listen to you, Mari?
Oh, look, I would like to think that I would like to have confidence that our voices are being heard, and the latest documentation that's come out talks about submissions close on the 18th, decisions will be the 25th, and kind of something on the 1st of September.
Yeah.
It is my understanding that perhaps that might be, have a shift maybe, but I would like to think it's more than that. That they truly consider the context of rural and manage it, and I will continue to have that voice on behalf of our community, because the community have really shown me
that they care.
To me
Absolutely,
that they care.
absolutely.
And I'm so proud of everybody that's turned up to those meetings. I'm proud of the manner that they express their concern, and their single focus is making sure that our communities are safe for our young people and our older people to feel comfortable and safe in their homes. And, that's our single focus. And, we will just follow this through, I think.
There you
Kerry.
go. Now, so those in the Hiranui have absolutely sort of stood up and shoulder to shoulder, like I heard you say. Do you think that there'll be the similar sort of action for those in the Hiranui who would be paying a toll on the Woodend bypass? That is interesting for the Hiranui as well. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, really interesting. Actually, I didn't know anything about it until David Hill, the local government reporter, rang me yesterday and asked for a comment, and so we weren't given the privilege to be consulted with, to be fair, and which is it's a bit of an irony, because actually our community, our residents, are probably going to have as much of an impact as our neighbours to the south in Waimakariri. So. Who probably don't need to use that bypass to get into the city, but it's our main arterial vein for our community as they go into town for their work on a daily basis. The many commute from Amberley. It's very commutable now, and it's a fantastic drive, but, that's an added extra. And for businesses, it's for carting goods into our district or out of our district, it's an added expense. And, if you're going for your professional services in the city, the dentist, the accountant, the solicitor, the whatever, they're all added costs which need to be factored in. So, I hope the community actually has a wee look at that and, voices their support or concern accordingly.
I would suggest that if the angst in North Canterbury and Hiranui in particular in regards to the policing, this is something that could also be looked at. Certainly, NZTA webpage, you can actually put a submission in yourself. I would imagine that the Hiranui Council may do that, Mari.
Yeah.
But individually, everyone can as well. I already have this morning. It's very, very easy. Very quickly, Murray, you've got a meeting coming up in the Hiranui in September. Dr. Miriam McCaleb, tell us about this.
Oh, look, this is just an absolute opportunity for parents, and particularly those that are parenting, our under fives, but actually probably even under tens. Dr. Miriam McCaleb, she's local to Amberley, but now lives in Loburn. I've known Miriam for a long, long time, and she's done enormous amount of postgrad study on growing great brains. So that's looking at the parent-child relationship, and woven in that is actually the influence of technology and, screen use on a daily basis, and what does that do to the maturing infant brain and the relationship with the parent. And so in Cheviot on the 17th of September at 6 o'clock at the Cheviot School, we're hosting the second of these sessions. We had a really successful one, can't remember when, but that was in Amberley, probably 100 or more, and the feedback was phenomenal. It's a stunning opportunity for people to come in, just sit and absorb the information, and then take it home and weave it into your daily life. And growing a great brain of a young elderly to into the future is kind of our role, isn't it? Really.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Put an X on the calendar and come along to that session, because Miriam is just a wonderful, engaging speaker.
Mari Black, Mayor of the Hiranui, I appreciate the time that you spend with us here every week on Compass FM. We'll chat to you next Wednesday.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kerry.